Today is Transfiguration Sunday. I've titled it Rest and Relax. The Hebrew scripture reading is from the famous passage in Exodus where Moses went up the mountain for 40 days, then came down with the 2 stone tablets of law. 40 days alone, a time to pray and reflect, a time to set aside, time to contemplate. Because if they believed God had truly engraved these stones, what took so long? According to the Genesis accounts of creation, the entire world was created in a much shorter time. Maybe this was for Moses, not the tablets. It was a lot to take in. Exodus 24:12-18. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountains and wait there, and I will give you the tablets of stone with the law and the commandment which I have written for their instruction." So Moses set out with his assistant Joshua, and Moses went up into the mountain of God. To the elders he had said, "Wait here for us until we come to you again, for Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has a dispute may go to them." Then Moses went up to the mountain, and the cloud-covered mountain. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. On the 7th day he called to Moses out of the cloud. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire on the top of the mountain in the sight of the people of Israel. Moses entered the cloud and went up the mountain. Moses was on the mountain for 40 days and nights. The gospel reading is from Matthew 17:1-9, where a similar event occurs in front of 3 of Jesus' favorite disciples. 6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter and James and his brother John and led them up on a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his clothes became dazzling white. Suddenly there appeared to them Moses and Elijah talking with him. Then Peter said to Jesus, "Lord, it's good for us to be here. If you wish, I'll make 3 dwellings here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." While he was still speaking, suddenly a bright cloud overshadowed them, and from the cloud a voice said, "This is my son, the beloved. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." When the disciples heard this, they fell to the ground and were overcome by fear. But Jesus came to them and touched them, saying, "Get up and do not be afraid." And when they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus himself alone. As they were later coming down the mountain, Jesus ordered them, "Tell no one about the vision until after the Son of Man has been raised from the dead." The Feast of the Transfiguration, celebrated annually in Catholic tradition on August 6th, commemorates Jesus' divine glory revealed to Peter, James, and John on a mountain, traditionally Mount Tabor. It signifies his divinity, the fulfillment of the old law of Moses and the prophets, and prefigures his resurrection. The disciples, the chosen three, must have been totally stunned with the transfiguration. Then on top of that, Elijah and Moses showed up as well. Is it any wonder that they had wanted to build 3 tents there and then possibly sleep out the tent door? To just take on what happened, to treasure it, to hold it on to the memory, let alone what Jesus had told them about his rising from the dead. And yet, time came too soon for them, for Jesus commands them to follow him back down the mountain. It reminded me of a favorite passage from Ecclesiastes, and it is, "To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pick up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to cast away, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace." a time of activity, and then simply a time of peace and rest. For the three disciples on top of the mountain, I assume that they would know we're ready to leave the mountain. Unlike Moses, who had 40 days to meditate, they were expected to just go back down the mountain almost immediately. It reminds me of how most of us live our lives. We're expected to show up to our 9 to 5 jobs no matter what, come rain or shine. Large corporations give an average leave of 3 to 5 days for a death in the family. When my daughter was dying of cancer, my health insurance gave me 3 paid visits for counselors, if that was somehow enough. And yet the year has seasons, more colorful and colder climates. In nature, everything slows down. The leaves have fallen, the darkness increases, and yet we just keep plodding on. No time for shorter work days, more days off, more time to just be. The disciples on the hilltop moved and wanted to stay there a while, but they were simply not allowed to. So I will try to give you the gift of being still today. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just to be, as the three disciples would have wanted. The trees have not even set out their buds. They are waiting patiently and quietly for spring to come. You are like that tree, curled up at the base of the roots, sleeping comfortably. No call to action yet. Relax all of your muscles, breathe deeply, and slowly count to 5, letting all of your muscles relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly come back to consciousness. Then look at this next picture. Open your eyes slowly. There is a sunrise slowly beckoning you to look through the heart-shaped formation. It is early spring, but there is no watch, no alarm, just a soft invitation to relax into the day. Nowhere to go yet, no place to be. Then I'd like to end this meditation from a poem that I wrote several years ago when I was reflecting on this. It's called Sufficient, It Is Enough. Soft morning sun slants through the window pane, silent leaves falling into winter slumber. Snuggled safely onto my seat, warm golden brown fur of cat slowly rises and falls under my gentle hand. Lives pulse together, veils fall away, and we are one at peace today. And tomorrow, it has yet to come, but in this one perfect moment, today is enough to light my way. Sufficient, it is enough. For everything, there is a season. Today is a season for rest and renewal. Now, as we end these, listen to the calming music as long as you want. Have a peaceful and joyous day.